Welcome back to Ladies of the Night. We are popping in for, I want to say this is episode 9 now, which is crazy.
I've lost count. I just work here.
You just show up, yeah.
I just work here.
I think I only know because I have to input like the season number and the episode number on Spotify. I want to say it's 9 now, which is crazy that we've been doing this for 9 weeks, but it's been fun.
I just show up. I just show up to record.
You do. Well, we'll start with what we've been up to this week. What's been happening on your end of the woods?
I got a couple things written down, which is kind of shocking for me because I don't typically write a lot of stuff down, I guess. So I watched 3 movies last week.
That is a big deal.
I didn't go to the movies. I streamed them.
Hey, it's still watching.
I watched Obsession. I hated it every second. It was like torture. I watched this Super Mario Galaxy movie. That was pretty good. I love Yoshi, and I loved some of the other characters you see in the Mario games, so that was fun. And then I watched Devil Wears Prada 2, which is finally on Disney Plus.
I am proud of you for watching 3 2026 movies.
I'm shocked.
Well, and not only that you did it, it was in 1 week too. I'm so
one
proud.
Weekend.
Yeah, I'm so proud. What was your favorite of the 3?
I'm gonna go with Super Mario.
Yeah,
I'm
with you. I love Yoshi. I played that a lot growing up, so I was stoked to have him in a movie. He's so cute.
Back in my day, when we had the Wii, and we used to play a lot of Mario Kart, I used to play as Rosalina a ton.
Ooh.
So it was really fun to like have her be in a movie.
Yeah, I think those are really cute. I enjoy them. They're very nostalgic, I think, for a lot of people around our age. So, I know the kids are going, but no, don't cite the deep magic to me, witch.
I'm a kid at heart, so it's fine.
Yeah, they're cute.
And then I did not start. It's been a couple weeks since it started, but I have been watching Project Runway. The season's okay. Like nothing has really stood out to me, really. And then we also had the return of Ted Lasso this week.
Yeah.
What did you think about the episode?
I know we've touched on it a little personally, and I actually talked to a friend about it today who's also watched it, and she said the same thing we did. It felt like a filler episode. It's kind of like when you read like a prologue to a book. It's kind of setting things up before we get going, and I get why they did that because it's been a gap in time. So, logistically, I understand, but it just didn't have a lot in it. I mean, there were some funny and cute things, that did feel very Ted, but I wasn't crazy about it. So I'm hoping it's going to pick up and be a little more fun.
I hope so. I look forward to it, even though, we're not going to see Jamie. I also don't think we're going to see Danny this season.
I don't either.
But we get Roy back. So, I mean, at least we at least have that. And then obviously we have Rebecca, and we have Keely, and
Higgins.
Beard is back.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping they fix something that really made me mad in the season 3 finale, and that was Roy and Keely not ending up together. And Brett Goldstein wants it too. So let's circle back, but I don't know based off of her reaction when it got brought up. So we'll see.
Maybe.
But I'm hopeful for it.
The only other thing I really had this week was sports. Football is back. We're getting that back, so that'll be fun. Shelby and I have 2 different teams, so we don't play each other that often. Every once in a while. My poor Brisbane Broncos are having the worst season ever. It's so sad. I literally have that they're killing my vibe, but it's fine.
Aww. Nothing sucks more than your team losing.
It's so
it determines
bad.
Your mental health.
It's fine. A lot of my players are coming back from injury, or they're just not playing well, and I'm like, guys, come on. And you have, Jesse's leaving. it's killing my vibe.
When's the season done for that?
I want to say September. It ends.
So it's coming up
officially. Well, we are out of the championship. We've lost that many games. We're like,
oh, that's even worse.
We can't even be a contender at this point. So,
oh gosh,
yeah, I can't.
You're struggling over there.
It's true. I might need a drink after this. And then my last note was that we don't have any F1 this week, which was perfectly fine. But speaking of F1, we did get some paparazzi pics of our driver, Charles Leclerc, and his wife, Alex, and their dog, Leo, out on a yacht. And Alex is pregnant. So that's a little fun, little surprise.
I know, it's weird. And obviously it's happened, at other points in times, but it's weird to have somebody expecting a baby because it's, it's not like a ton of them. It's not like in football or something or hockey, with a lot of the wives. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. A lot of people think they're having a boy because of how much blue she's been wearing, but I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. But what have you been up to this week?
Goodness. Well, obviously you've recapped our sports, so hopefully we're going to have some things to watch again soon. I think it's 52 days till hockey because the Bruins posted something. I have been reading our ACOTAR stuff. I've been on that. And then because I'm only allowing so many chapters a day, I'm reading other books at the same time. I've been reading the new Krista and Becca Ritchie book. It's a spin-off series of the Addicted and Calloway sisters. So they've had 2 spin-offs. I didn't love the first one. This one's been pretty good. And I've enjoyed that. It's a MM romance. And the one that is Rose and Connor's kids, which was my favorite couple, he's in a rock band. So that's kind of the premise, and it's his drummer. So it's been pretty fun. I'm nearly done with it. I probably could have finished it this morning, but I was a little busy. So TV, just Ted Lasso. I don't think I've really watched anything else this week.
That's a lie.
What did I watch that I can't remember?
You watched Heated Rivalry last night.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I had a rough day and was like, you know what? Sounds good. I'm going to go home and watch this. And I have 1 episode left that I'll watch today. But yeah, we were on FaceTime, kind of going over stuff for the podcast. And I know there were a couple times you were talking, I'll be like looking at the TV. But yes, so I did watch that. I don't know how many times. I've stopped counting. It's probably close to 10 at least, but it's an easy background watch. But yeah, so I did do that. I think that's been it. Goodness, I'd like to say I've done more. Oh, my movie. I just got home from the movies. I was like, I knew I had something else. I saw One Night Only, which is essentially The Purge for single people. So in the US, in the setting of the movie, unmarried people cannot have sex or they'll go to jail. So they have a biosensor that detects it in one night a year from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on August 7th through 8th. You can have sex if you're not married. And it has Callum Turner and Monica Barbaro. And it was probably the funniest thing I've seen this year that was original. It's done by Will Gluck. He did Easy A and Anyone But You. So it's a lot of similar humor. They have a picture of Glenn Powell in it. And my friend said when it was over, she's like, I almost slapped you when they showed Glenn. Definitely like a nod to him being in Anyone But You. And he was also in Top Gun Maverick with Monica. And because they added that his character was a pilot. And so I was like, oh, I was like the Leo meme, like pointing, like when it mentioned that. It was really funny, though. I liked it. And I had another surprise. One of the guys that was just cast in season 2 of Heated Rivalry was in it. And I was I was like, I approve when he had his shirt off. But I could see it very different than the character he'll play on that show. But I could see the potential like with charisma and stuff. So that had me pretty excited. It had a lot of random people in it. Julia Fox was in it as a bartender. And I thought of you. Because of the summer, we kept going, I was Josh Safdie's muse in Uncut Gems.
When he wrote Uncut Gems.
When he wrote Uncut Gems. I thought of you when it showed her.
That
but
was
yeah, it had
That was a vocal stem for us at Disney for like an entire weekend that year
it
that
was
we
the whole
went.
trip. We kept saying it. And so when she came on, I thought of you. But yeah, they had a bunch of random people pop up in it. It was fun. I really liked it. I think you'd like it too. It was nice to see something original that's not a sequel or an adaptation of something. We both really liked it. It was funny. A lot of dirty humor, obviously, given the plot of the movie. But
Yeah.
so that was my thing. And then House of the Dragon ends tomorrow night. So I'm expecting bloodshed because it's the finale and it's ending the end of the book. And so people are going to start dropping like flies.
Yeah.
So that's my recap. It's funny. I was like, I didn't do much. And then, yeah, I have some of my usual, though. Heated Rivalry comes up like, I don't know, maybe once a month. I don't know how often I'll tune in when I need a fix. So, transitioning into news, we've got a little bit of celebrity news this week and other things. You mentioned, about the Leclerc bébé. That was an exciting one for us. We've also had some casting this week. We had Kit Connor was cast as Scott Summers. I know the name, but I've never seen him in anything. But what I've seen online is people are pretty excited about it.
I don't think I've seen him in anything either, now that you said that.
Yeah, it's just one of those names that I know for some reason, I guess because I see him, but to my knowledge, I've not seen him in anything. So we have, I guess, 4 officially cast in it now, which is cool. There's still rumored ones, but I'm not like entertaining those until we know.
Who are our 4? I know we have Sadie, Kit.
Oh God, I'm blanking on her name. Samara Weaving.
I
guess it is 3.
Okay.
But
did I miss? I was like, did I miss?
No, there is a 4th one that people. Oh, it's Charles Melton as Hank. So I keep seeing that. Like I keep seeing some stuff saying it's official, and then some not. Which he was on Riverdale. I've seen him in other stuff, and like he's one of the like good things that came out of Riverdale as far as acting. So if he's cast, like I'm fine with it. But yeah, he's who I was thinking of. But it's been one of those back and forth, like it's official, it's not. So then I mentioned a second ago, I had Heated Rivalry casting. We had Justice Smith and Charlie Gillespie. They will be playing the main characters out of Role Model, which is the 5th book, which overlaps timeline-wise with book 6, so it's based off of those 2 books. Curious to see it. Those are my 2 favorite books in the series. So, like, we're moving along. I'm excited. So, let's see. We also had, allegedly, Tom Holland and Zendaya had a UK wedding, which seems likely because now Tom is wearing a wedding ring. I saw some Pat pictures the other day, but good for them if they did. Jonathan Bailey has an Armani campaign. I was excited about that. I said a couple weeks ago I love Jonathan Bailey. He looks good in them. Joe Jonas is joining The Voice as a coach, which I don't know that I'll watch it because a part of me wants to because he's my favorite Jonas brother, but I have a hard time keeping up with stuff like that weekly. It always feels like a chore to me, anything that's reality based, but that's pretty fun. It'll be interesting to see if he's a better coach than Nick was because Nick's done it. Maybe he's only done it once, but I feel like he's done it at least twice. Then we had The Odyssey crossed 1 billion at the box office. That no surprise at all.
No, not at all.
No, yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, it hadn't already. And then we also had Spider-Man broke the all-time domestic record with 360 million over Avengers Endgame, which had 35.1 million. So that's pretty cool.
That's kind of insane, to be completely honest. Like Endgame was a big deal.
It was a huge deal. I think one of the biggest deals we've had in Marvel. And so that is pretty cool that, like an individual superhero one past it. I mean, it is Spider-Man, which is a big deal, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And then we had Ted Lasso come back was the other thing I had written down. So a lot of cool things churning this week.
Exactly. And then this upcoming week, you have a little more that's churning.
My birthday.
It's your birthday.
Yes, I'm going to be booked and busy. I was about to say most of which is Heated Rivalry themed in some form or another. My cake, I'm very proud of it. I think this is so funny. There's a quote that Elio says, it's my special day, Hollander. That's what my cake is going to say. Because it is my special day. I am an August Leo, and we are snots during the month of August. And so, yes, it is my special day.
If you couldn't tell that she's a Leo, that statement right there automatically gave it away.
And it's funny because it only emerges in August. That is the only time that I'm like, me. So, yeah, it is my special day. Hollander is going to be my cake. And then we have a cocktail that's going to be a Montreal Mule, it's a play on a Moscow Mule. And instead of ginger beer, you use ginger ale because Shane likes ginger ale. And then it uses syrup because he's Canadian. And so I sent it to my friends that do a lot of cocktails. And I was like, do y'all think this sounds like it'll taste good? And they said yes. So we're going to do that. Then Saturday, I'm ice skating. And my friends I'm going with, I'm going to wear my Rosenoff jersey. One of them's going to wear her Hollander one. I believe she's never ice skated, so pray for them. And then Sunday, I'm getting another heated rivalry tattoo. So it wasn't intentional that it played out this way, but I'm not complaining. So, and then you have a special gift coming for me that's also hockey themed.
Yeah, exactly. We have this. It's kind of a tradition, kind of not a tradition. We like to gift each other boy blankets for birthdays and or Christmas. We skipped it last year because for some reason they skyrocketed in prices.
Yeah.
So neither one of us got a boy blanket last year. But I did get Shelby a boy blanket for her birthday this year that I will be sending off this week.
Yes, I'm excited. I have so many. Treva has so many, but they all have a different occasion. I have a Charles blanket that I use when I watch F1. Then currently my most used on the couch is my Connor Story and Hudson Williams one. I sleep with my Glenn Powell one in the bed, which was from Treva, which I have to have a blanket between me and the sheet. For some reason, I've been like that most of my life. I don't know if it's a sensory thing, and Glenn is the bed one. And then I have some movie blankets. I have some Marvel actors. Treva has some Marvel actors.
Yeah, they're my theater blankets.
Yeah, and that's typically what I use mine for, too. And then I've gifted you John Bernthal once or twice, I think.
I think I have one John.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Well, yeah, because then I've given you Tony Vitello the other time recently. So,
and then I've got a couple Marvel. I think I've got 2 Marvel. I think one's in my car, one's in my sister's car. And then I have a Charles Leclerc, and then I have my rugby player, Jesse. So tons of boy blankets.
Yeah, they're fun. It's because what they are, I guess, visually for people who don't know, is it's a photo blanket and it's a 12 grid one. So there's 12 pictures and we put the pictures of, the actor or the whatever and gift them. Feels very like teenager fangirl, but it's super fun. And it's a unique little gift to give somebody. So we enjoy
and
that.
We use them. So it's not like it's like a useless gift.
No, they get used and used and used to the point where I think the one I have that's the faded the most is I have a Miles Teller one that I got the summer Top Gun Maverick came out, and that one has gotten pretty faded. And because unfortunately, when you wash them, that contributes to it. But I have found washing in cold water and low heat helps. But yeah, they get used. I always have to sit with a blanket. So, and we take them on trips. So we get to decide who goes on the trip. There's a picture from when I went to visit her a few weeks ago where Treva folded them because I couldn't folded them. So they're sat up in the bed. So it looks like Jesse, and then she did one that was Hudson and Connor are like sitting up in the bed, and that's how we came back to the hotel. It's pretty funny. So it's just a quirky little thing between us, and we obviously love pop culture because that's what we do this. Yeah. So it's fun.
If it's not a blanket, it's our phone background. We seem to change our background of our phone,
or our text
or at least our text thread. Yeah. We also change that. I think like every season. Well, Shelby changes it every season. I just show up to a new background.
Yeah, I'll make us one every now and then because we had. Oh gosh, I can't remember what was before. Oh, it was Stranger Things.
Yes.
We had that. I guess, around when the last season came out, and I always split it in half. So one side is like Treva's character or actors, and then the other's mine. So we had Billy and Steve from Stranger Things. Then
it's that mullet.
It's the mullet. It does. Treva loves that mullet. So, and then after that, I did Off Campus. We had Garrett and Dean, and then currently we've got a blend of things. We have a little bit.
We'll have like a pop up of what it looks like.
Yeah. It's John Bernthal, Jesse Arthur's. Because I just did John and Jesse on yours, and I have Charles Leclerc like up in the middle between, and then the other side for me is Glenn Powell, Hudson Williams, and Connor Story. And it was just going to be two of them, but I told Treva, because one of the John pictures, he has the middle finger, and I was like, well, I don't have any pictures of Connor Story giving the middle finger, but you know who has 1,000 of them? So then that's when Hudson came, and then like I added Jesse and Glenn, and then there's some like put our sports teams in it, so it's like a blend of our personalities right now, I think. But I love that kind of stuff. I think it's fun to get excited over fangirl stuff, and you know, anybody who makes fun of it's lame. You know, I think there's nothing crappier.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I think it's crappy to knock people for stuff that they like, and I haven't had it happen in a long time. But you know, I know there's people that definitely judge stuff, and that's my thing. It's like if it makes you happy, like who cares? We're not talking about, you know, like grown men that break their TVs when the Cowboys lose. You know, like if we're gonna if we're going to talk about being into stuff, like, drag them down. We're not hurting anybody or any furniture. But yes, so I'm excited for my blanket when he gets here. It's my favorite hockey player, so I'll use it when I watch the Bruins. I don't know if I'm going to take it to the game, though. Originally, I said I am, and then I'm like, oh, God, I don't want anybody to see it. Because I'm sitting so close to the glass.
Hold it up. That's your sign. Just hold up your
Jeremy!
blanket.
Hey, well, if I got a puck off that'd be funny.
I would like some street cred for that as well. I just want it to be known that Shelby went viral for the Glenn Powell blanket that I got her for her birthday a couple of years ago. That blew up on TikTok. And people would DM her, and they found me and were asking about it.
Yeah, because I guess people haven't ever done that, or because I think we saw somebody do it on TikTok years ago, and that, you know, we looked into how to do it, and it was a video. I think it was, "Are you patriotic?" is the sound, and it goes, "Hell yes, I am." And then there's like a caca, and like you drop the flag or the blanket on the caca, and that's what I did it with. And the Glenn Powell one blew up, and yeah, like Treva said, like I had people messaging me privately wanting to know. People started following and messaging Treva to ask about it. We have a running joke that she makes the blankets in her little Harry Potter closet room.
My Harry Potter,
she sews them by hand.
My nipple hands.
So yeah, that's a little info about us and our fangirling. And then you can see behind me, I have a pink flag, and Treva's got two of them in her room, and I have an F1 one that's not in shot. So I don't know, it's fun. I like to be myself.
Listen, we're fangirls through and through. Like, we can't help it.
Yeah.
I just sounded like we were there. Fangirl.
Fangirl. Girls.
Girls.
Girls. Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of fangirling, do you want to go ahead and dive in with ACOTAR? You got anything else you want us to knock down on?
I don't think so. I think ACOTAR is the only thing we got left to talk about this week.
Yeah, that's been the big thing. And we have just the way the schedule went down. We're finishing the book with this podcast and talking about the recap. And then next time we'll get into Mist and Fury, but not finish it yet. I think that's going to take about 2 recordings, if I recall right from the schedule. But today we do knock out ACOTAR, which as of today, August 8th, we do not have a title, a cover, or any information still. So
you jinxed us. We didn't get anything for that.
I did. I got off and had new pictures of Connor Story and Hudson Williams, and they were like,
and you got casting news this week.
And I did. I got casting news. Oh my God, Lisa Al-Gaib. You're right. I forgot
ACOTAR news. Like, get your priorities straight, bro. This is ridiculous.
You're so right. I did manifest both of those things. That is wild. I should go buy a lotto ticket. And then when I win the lottery, I'll fund our fangirl life even further.
Please, I need my house to be renovated.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I forgot that I asked for casting news, and I did get it. You ask and you shall receive.
Yeah, well, your priorities weren't straight because we wanted the ACOTAR news first.
Well, now I will breathe it into existence now. We would like that next week.
Okay. Do you want to recap ACOTAR for us, please?
Yes. So we did up through chapter 7 or chapter 6 last time. So we were going on from 7 to the end of the book, which is... What are you choking on?
I'm choking on water. I knew it was going to happen as soon as I swallowed. That's what she said.
You can't die. We don't have ACOTAR. You can't die before ACOTAR comes out.
I'm so sorry.
You honestly can't die in general because who am I going to FaceTime after some drinks?
You're going to have to Ouija at my gravesite.
I know. It won't hit the same. And then send my funny videos too.
Please delete my complete phone history. That would be great. I don't need anyone else reading my fanfics. They are mine.
I will clear your phone. I'll clear your iPad. I will get rid of the smut on your shelf. I will make sure they know nothing.
Okay. I will make
sure. And I've
sure.
told you mine.
I need my AO in my will.
Yes. I need my AO3 deleted. I need my Kindle cleared out, clear my shelf, and then I want that flag on my casket.
Okay.
Those are my requests.
Make sure, just destroy the entire phone, okay? My photo albums, they gotta go.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then nobody deserves to get to have access to our meme folders.
Those are extensively large.
I have had people ask me to share my folder with them because they're always so impressed with my responses. I'm like, no. I work too hard on that. I have a meme for everything.
I also have a meme for everything.
You surprise me sometimes with some new ones that crack me up. Like last night, I've seen it before, but it was a perfect use of it. When I texted you, I said, God created men and sent Connor story as an apology. And you sent back from Tarzan, okay, well, he's your baby.
Okay, he's your baby.
I love that one. So, yeah, you get me every now and then with some that I wouldn't have thought of, and it's funny. But I digress. Anyway, Treva's alive. She didn't choke on her water.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so kind of going through a general recap, and then we'll touch on our notes in a little more detail. So we have essentially her getting acclimated at the spring court. One of the things I have noted is Lucian is not very nice at the beginning.
No.
I had forgot about how snotty he is. And then it's interesting seeing Tamlin be so nice and things like that in the beginning. So it's interesting to observe their behaviors.
It's not even genuinely nice. It's a condescending nice.
Yeah. So it's very interesting to see it. And, on that note, with Lucian not being very pleasant, he sends her to the Suriel, and obviously that was dangerous and she probably shouldn't have been there, but
well, she wanted to go. He just didn't end up saving her. He said he heard her scream and then just didn't do anything. So that's nice.
Yeah, so that's a good summary of how Lucian is in this book. But some of the things I noted, the Suriel is honestly one of my favorite things in ACOTAR. I got very excited. Of course, the stay with the High Lord, we find out, later on what it meant. It makes me sad when it mentions its little tattered robes and how you can trap it with a new robe and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, I get emotional with the Suriel. So during all of this, she learns that Tampon is a High Lord, and you learn a little bit more about her dad and the fortune and the timeline of essentially how he got their family into poverty. Lucian gives her a knife during this point. So, afterwards with this, so opening up, she did save the cereal before herself. You see a little bit of that. One of the things that stuck out during all of this while she's getting acquainted and we're getting to know her a little more is she is aware that her family didn't try to stop Tampon from taking her. And I think that one kind of hit like a blow, in a lot of ways, to think that that was happening and her family didn't do anything. We learn a little more. I'm just going to alternate between Tampon and Tamlin. We learn a little more about Tamlin's family and just how honestly nasty they were. We learn about them having slaves and things like that, which is interesting later because she's not quite a slave in his house, but a prisoner, which same thing. You're keeping somebody against their will. And then we do meet Rhys during this on Fire Night. She describes him as the most beautiful man. So I made a note of that.
Just for context, that's Shelby's man. That's not mine.
Yeah, I was like, damn right he is. Then I have one line that's just Rhys in all caps with a bunch of exclamation points. So this is when she does meet him for the first time, and we don't know what all he's going to become to her. So it's, I think reading it a second time is very interesting.
Yeah.
There's everything with Fire Night. She's told to stay in, don't come out. She comes out anyway. And then her and Tamlin have their little tussle later in the manor when he bites her neck, right? Is that what it is? Or
yeah.
He bruises it, yeah. And
he bites it.
Yeah, and the next day he says that he's not responsible for the consequences of her actions for going out. And I was like, oh, there's one of the first red flags. Like, yes, she did leave and there were potential consequences, but at the same time, I feel like that was him deflecting responsibility also in what happened. And so I was like, nope. Then during all this too, we had Tamlin playing the fiddle, which has become a little bit of a meme
joke
online. I was laughing when it was happening.
Go ahead. Speaking of memes, we also have the ongoing joke that Feyre can't paint.
Yes, I don't believe she can.
I'm sure she paints very beautifully, but it seems like an ongoing joke within the fandom that she paints stick figures and stuff.
Yeah, and people just tell her portraits. Yeah, and people just tell her they're great. That's my top headcanon is that she can't paint. But because in the middle of this portion of the book, she does start to explore painting and things like that. She's getting settled.
Because that's the only thing she can do.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, she starts to get settled. She's getting healthier, eating, things like that. Rhys comes to visit the spring court. They try to hide her. And one of the things that I noted from their altercation, because at this point, they're very much portraying the night court to be like these demons, that's the way things are being spun. And there's something with that we'll note in a second that you told me last night. But one of the things that I put from this whole altercation is when he has Tamlin and Lucian on their knees and he goes, "You too, fox boy." I loved that. But during all of this, again, putting the night court, as the evil ones, you pointed out when we were talking last night about Tamlin's known Rhys for however long.
Yeah.
And so he should have an idea of what kind of person he is. So it's a little bit of contrast. So elaborate, please.
At some point, because this is what I have wrote down in my notes. We find out that Rhys is old, I don't know if it's a couple years, if it's multiple years. It's got to be multiple years because we find out later, obviously, Rhys fought in the First War. And Tamlin said he was a child during the First War. So I'm not exactly sure how much older Rhys is at that time. Yeah. So we do know that Rhys is older than Tamlin. We did also find out that Rhys did also teach Tamlin about women. And then for some reason, he paints Rhys as this bad guy. And I'm like, okay, well, if you've known him for so long and you're learning all these things from him, especially how to be with women, to talk to women, whatever,
Mhm.
how are you painting him to be this bad guy? You know what
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And obviously we find
Yeah.
out later in the book, in the next book, exactly kind of like what went down and what happened. But right now it's not making sense
Mhm.
to how he's
Yeah, 'cause
painting the Night Court as these like terrible people.
mhm. Yeah, 'cause that's very much the story that we're being sold at this point. And, obviously, I would say we're in the Spring Court's point of view, in this book.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do think that's a very interesting contrast. And, Tamlin's so big on like not being like his family and things like that. So you would think he'd want to try to get along with other courts and be more agreeable, or I'm blanking on the right word, but work with others a little better. And
Like
you
more
can tell there's
cordial.
yeah, and you can tell there's just none of that. I mean, the second he
Yeah.
shows up, he's, all over him. And so they have that, and that's the second time that we see Reese. And then they decide to send Farah back home to the cesspit, as Lucian calls it. The hovel is still my favorite. And so she does go home, and
hmm
her family's living pretty well to do. They've got a nice house, and they believe they've been left money by this aunt. It was the glamour that Tamlin gave them, and then he
Well,
did set them up. Mm.
At least Farah has money from the
Yeah.
aunt, and then their
Yeah.
dad's ships supposedly have been found because that's how they
Yeah.
originally lost their fortune.
Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, essentially he's worked things to set the family up, so they're doing
hmm
okay. And we find out when she goes home that Nesta did try to go after her, and Nesta was not fooled by any of the glamours. None of it worked on her, so she remembered Tamlin coming and taking her and everything that happened
She
while
hired that mercenary
yeah.
to attempt to go to the
Mhm.
wall and go through it and go get Feyre, and it
Yes.
didn't work out.
Yeah, so we do learn that about her, which I think is very interesting. And then her dad and Elaine have no recollection of it.
hmm
And they wake up later because she does talk to them about what's going on when she decides to go back. And when she returns to the Spring Court, it's in ruins, and she learns about the curse with Tamlin having to fall in love with a human and a human love him back. And so we learn more about that portion of things, and then we go under the mountain to the trials. And Treva made sure to count watery bowels. That is another ongoing thing that's made fun of, and it is said 3 times in case anyone was wondering. You want to tell about the trials? Recap us through that?
I had a couple notes here. I wondered why Nesta couldn't be glamored.
Mm-hmm.
We never find that out.
There's all kinds of theories, I feel like with Nesta and the glamour, and we may or may not ever learn that, but it is a very interesting note to make
hmm
because she's human, and was able to stand against that.
Yeah. And then my other note I had here is that Nesta did admit that she could never do what Farah did, but she also wanted her dad to basically get off his ass and do something to
Mm-hmm.
like help them help himself.
Mm-hmm. Which I think, to be honest, I hate that, Farah had to do all of it by herself, but I get where Nesta's coming from with that, because a lot of ways the dad was being enabled. And I know that the girls are older by the time we get to this book, but there is a portion of time where all of this went on that they were still teenagers and young, and he is the dad, he's the parent, and should have been doing those things. And even with his injury, I understand that does limit things, but he wasn't even trying to find stuff that he could do. He did nothing to help. And so I don't disagree with Nesta trying to test him to do something.
Yeah. It was interesting to see her tell Feyre that because Nesta doesn't really show a lot of feeling.
No.
And then I'm sorry, I backtracked. So we are now under the mountain. We officially meet the Adder, and we kind of figure out why everyone is under the mountain. we find out that basically what happened during the First War is Amarantha and the King of Hybern, basically they wanted to keep their human slaves. And so the other courts kind of rebelled against that. They wanted everybody to be free, to live their own lives, to do basically whatever they wanted. So that was the First War. We find out during that First War, Amarantha has a sister. I completely forgot she had a sister.
Me too.
So I did have that written down. Jurian did betray her, apparently, and I think he tortured and killed her, is what they said in the book.
Yes, he did kill her.
And then I have it noted down here that honestly, Amarantha kind of deserved to torture Jurian because of obviously how it ended with his sister. He tortured and killed her. And Amarantha wears his eye as a ring and has got like a pinky bone, I think is what it was, on a necklace.
Yes, I think so. Ooh, so gross.
And then we have, I'm trying to think, we have the first trial where Farah kind of has to beat this Midgard worm. She basically builds like a bone enclosure and kills it with that for the first trial.
Yeah, traps it, basically.
I don't remember if it was between the first and second trial, between the second and the third trial. We have basically, after the first trial, Farah is really hurt. Lucian isn't able to come and heal her. Reese ends up making a bargain with Farah that she comes and spends a week with him. He'll heal her. She agrees to it. She thinks she's dying. And then, again, I don't remember if this was between the first, second and third. At some point, he like makes her go to these like parties with him, I guess.
I think it's before the third. I think it's in the month in between, because I think they're each a month apart, if I remember right. They're down there for a while. And then she gets essentially drunk off the fairy wine, but she's like blacked out. Like it's different.
I have it noted because I think it was last episode we talked about how she knows not to drink the fairy wine and then drinks it anyways. It is described that the fairy wine under the mountain is different than the wine that she has in the summer court. So she is getting blackout drunk thanks to Reese. And those memes are the best. I enjoy those memes so much when they pop up on my FYP.
Yeah. Well, and then she's dressed kind of scandalously and
she's painted to see if anybody like touches her. Yeah.
But it is noted, it's in Mist and Fury though, but I think it's worth saying that during all of this, like he never touches her in any way that's sexual, and it makes it a point, that to mention that later, that, that wasn't his goal there. And I don't know. I think in some ways the fairy wine was just so she wouldn't have to, like, she could check out for a little bit mentally. And meanwhile, too, while all this is going on, Tamlin never lifts a finger or anything.
He's like, just hanging out. He's having a good old time, just hanging out.
Just sits there and watches the whole time.
I do have it noted down here. I don't think we've ever figured out why Amarantha is so obsessed with Tamlin.
I have no idea, and I don't know, and it never says anything.
Is for some reason is Amarantha his mate? And he doesn't want it.
I don't think so on that. But that could be a theory. Maybe she just thinks he's attractive and powerful and wants him. I don't know. Because he's not the most powerful High Lord. But maybe it's a physical thing, or I don't know. Because she's obsessed with him.
And also, obviously, during this time, we find out that Reese is Amarantha's whore, and why was because of what happened to Tamlin's family in the Spring Court. They know that it was because of the Night Court that everyone is dead besides Tamlin. And that is basically why Reese is in the position that he's in, is for payback, I guess. And then we do end up reaching the second trial. And we find out how badly Feyre truly can read.
And these memes are fire, too, because they're always about, like, Lucien realizing she can't read and stuff like that.
It pisses me off so much how much he is yelling at her.
Yeah.
Like, just pick one. Okay, your life is on the line and my life's on the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then through this, Rhys helps her through the bond to get through it. And, I mean, I think something like that would be hard enough anyway, but then you add in somebody that can't read under that pressure. And so he, once again, swoops in and helps her while Tamlin doesn't lift a finger.
And then we finally reach the third trial. I do have it noted at some point, I don't remember the exact quote, but they kind of do a 3-finger salute from the Hunger Games, where they kiss their fingers and they hold it up in the air, like in the Hunger Games. And I thought that was so interesting because I did not catch that during my first read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't remember it either until you sent it to me.
And then obviously during the third trial, I'm not really sure what the end goal of this whole thing was, to see maybe if she could kill Tamlin or not. But basically she has to kill 3 fairies with Ashwood. She kills the first 3, and then it turns out that the third one is Tamlin. And I don't know how she put it together, besides everyone kept telling her that he couldn't love, I guess, and his heart was made of stone. And so she believed it truly was made of stone and stabbed him, and it turned out to be true.
Yeah, I wouldn't have clocked that either, to be honest. Even rereading it, which I actually forgot about that, going back, but I think maybe Amarantha thought she wouldn't do it. Maybe is what it was, because it definitely was a test. So I don't know if she thought she wouldn't, or maybe she would stab herself. I don't know, but I mean, they underestimated her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she solves the riddle.
Yep.
Which, even this time, I didn't remember the answer, and it's still whoosh. I'm not good at puzzle things like that at all.
It was interesting because after she did that, Amarantha basically is like, well, she didn't say when I had to release everyone. So I'm still going to keep them under here. She essentially is killing Feyre. Feyre answers the riddle correctly, and then she snaps her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And during this time, it's like pandemonium. I think
yes,
Rhys is trying to cut her head off. Tamlin's involved. It's
because
crazy.
Tamlin goes berserk, which is essentially what Rhys was anticipating happening. He at some point, I don't remember if it was this book or if it's in Mist and Fury, but he was doing things to try to get a rise out of Tamlin because they knew essentially if this was lifted, he'd be a weapon, and definitely is.
And then each one of them gives, or I should say, each of the High Lords gives Feyre a tiny little kernel of their I don't want to say it's their power. It's a life force, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that brings her back to life, and then she comes back as High Fae.
Mm-hmm. Which I remember the first time I read it, I was not expecting, but I was over the moon about. Because at that point, I was like, oh, she can have a mate. She can get married. That was where my brain was going, was we have a lot of potential now that she's Fae.
Yeah.
And then she returns to the Spring Court, and, that's
after
that.
she finds out, obviously, Rhys has wings. He's half Illyrian, which you don't truly learn about Illyrians until the second book.
No.
But she asks him if he's going to fly home, and he says he can't. It's too far. He doesn't have time. And then right before he winnows away, he has this shocked look on his face that she's like, what the fuck is going on?
What do you think that was? Do you think it was the mating bond?
120%.
I do too, because I did clock that this time.
I don't know why he would be shocked if he was just leaving her. So
maybe it clicked for him then, and was, I don't know. But once you've read all of her book, or after you've read at least one series of hers, you can pick up on the mates pretty easy. And I unless there's something I'm not remembering, I think that's what it was. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't think he knew she was going to be his mate yet, because I was going to say we do find out that there you are, I've been looking for you from Fire Night is because he had been seeing her. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Because he was dreaming of her
in the dresser.
Yes,
that she
and
painted.
it wasn't clear. It was like blurry.
Yeah.
And then once she was over the wall in the spring court, when he was still dreaming about her, he said it was clear.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was, is like the mating bond clicked for him there.
I definitely think that obviously there were signs. Spoiler alert, especially like for Cassian and Nesta as well. Cassian kind of knew when Nesta was still human that there was something there, and then obviously once they're turned gay, I'm sure that's like amplified. And then right before Reese left, they looked at each other, and that's when the bond at least snapped for him.
Yeah, because it could be like you just said with, you know, Cassian and Nesta as an example. It could be that he felt drawn to Farrah in some way, and that might have been part of the motivation with helping her, you know, with the, you know, the human part. And then when she was high fae, it was like bam. So, and again, there may be stuff we're not remembering that it'll say later, but that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah. And
because
then
as far as I know, you can't be mated with a human. So
I don't think so.
And
then from there, we go back to the spring court, and that's where we end book 1.
Yeah. So it's
to be honest, it was torture to get through that first book again. I will not lie to you.
Yeah, it's hard because really, I guess for both of us, obviously we're wrapped up in the night court stuff. You know, those are favorite characters. It's a superior court. I like the aesthetic of it better. You know, so it rolls with that, you know, that I think when I think of ACOTAR, I think of the night court, the Bat Boys, you know, all of that. So it is hard just being in the spring court.
Yeah.
But I do love when we go back to the spring court at the end of Mist and Fury, when she says Tamlin unknowingly led the High Lady of the Night Court into his territory. Every time I've read that, I'm like, so good. Because it's used on like edits and stuff. So I've seen that quote a couple times. But I both of us have started reading Mist and Fury. We're just making sure we stay on top of the schedule. And I've already enjoyed it so much more than ACOTAR is not a bad book, but it's my least favorite.
Yeah,
you know,
once you get to learn other characters and stuff, like you just see how kind of miserable the spring court all around is.
It is, and it doesn't have the family connection and feeling that the night court does, because Reese treats his group of people so different than Tamlin does. They're, I mean, polar opposites with the way they run their courts. And Reese's feels much more like other people can have opinions. They work together. They're, you know, it's just the relationships are so different. And then two, which we'll get into with Mist and Fury, he's got women in charge of things. And that would never fly in Tamlin's court.
Unless you're Ianthe, that's not happening.
Yeah. So we'll start diving in with that next week. I have to look and see. Let me double check what the reading schedule is for that. Let's see. What do we read up through? It will be chapters 1 through about 50. So it'll be a good chunk of things to cover, but then that still does leave a little bit for the next one, and then we'll be getting into Wings and Ruin. So we're making our way through it, which is pretty crazy. But
I'm not gonna lie, I am ready to get to Nesta. I want to get to Nesta. You are. I want to get to Bryce.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun revisiting, and I'm excited for the book, and I've been getting really excited for my book ball for it. I don't know what I'm going to wear. I'm trying to decide if I want to go as a character or just pick out like a nice dress or something.
You could go as Moore. Your hair's blonde.
My friend's gonna do more, actually. She wants to. I ideally wanted to do the Starfall dress. I just can't find anything like it. I need to go look around more. I did consider her Court of Nightmares dress because I did find a black dress that I could do, and there's a tiara and all of that. The slit comes up to your hip bones, and I'm not sure how I feel about that yet because I'm a little modest, so I don't know. I don't know. It'll be fun though. I'm excited. They've got cosplayers coming. So one of them's Steven. It's Walker, right? That's his last name.
Yeah.
Cassian. Yep. And then we have an Elaine, a Farah. I think they've added an Esta. I want to say they're probably going to have everybody, but there's a costume contest too, but I don't think I can put together anything that would like be worthy enough to win. Because I want to have a good time, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on a dress.
Yeah.
For one thing that I probably won't wear again.
I'm going to a good old Barnes & Noble.
Are you going to dress up in any way?
Probably not. I figured out, and I texted Allie this, I think, yesterday. I fly back from going to the Rebecca Yaros event in Denver. I fly back that morning of the midnight drop.
Oh, wow.
And Allie's like, you better be on time. Your flight better not be delayed. Yeah. I was like, well, I guess if it is, it's a 10-hour drive.
Oh, man, that's tough. I've thought about that too. I more than likely will not go to F1, but that's on Sunday. And then I would have to be back Monday morning to get ready to go to Denton for the book ball. And I was like, oh, Lord, I don't think I'm going to go. But I thought, like, if I did, like, that's a whole lot of hustling. And I would probably be sunburned for the ball. And
yeah, there's
no shade at COTA. I think that I honestly would go by myself. I mean, I could probably find somebody to go, but the thing that overwhelms me is the parking at that track. I don't want to be the one in charge of having to figure it out, and that's probably what would happen. And it's still so hot in October here. But I did think about that timing is like back to back. And then that's crazy that you're going to fly in.
I think that's funny. Like, yours is hot. Your track is hot as fuck. And then I'm going to Vegas where
it'll be
I'm
colder.
in the desert. It's going to be cold.
Yeah. I wish they would do the COTA in November. It's so hot. But it's hot here till about Christmas. Sometimes it's hot on Christmas. So I don't know that there's a solution.
Yeah.
But yeah, that October will be busy. I'm looking forward to it though. I was talking with my friend Lauren when we were getting coffee this morning about all the stuff in October, which is the book, the ball. That's when the Bruins come here and I'm going. I'll have Yaga with Hudson Williams. We'll have Wicker. We'll have Halloween. So it'll be fun.
It's a lot jammed into such little time.
Yeah. And it's coming up. August is almost halfway over. So, but it's nice to have stuff to look forward to.
Definitely.
But that is, I think, our episode for today. And we bounced all around a couple of times.
True.
Lots of things. But going to wrap up with manifesting something ACOTAR related this week, whether it's a cover or a title or some little crumb. Give it to us. I brought the casting on for Heated Rivalry. Bring this on. No joke if we get something. Well, I mean, it's seriously almost 2 months. So, but we'll keep our fingers crossed for something.
I mean, we're getting stuff from Rebecca. Come on.
I know. She's had a little bit more. Well, and I told you I had stuff from Rachel Reed this week. She posted a picture of what I'm assuming is the whole next book on her table. And like, everybody's giving us crumbs except the one that has a book coming out in 2 months.
I know. She just wants to keep us in suspense.
Yes,
she doesn't want to tell us who it is, what it's about.
That's what I think. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's release night. We walk up to get our books and surprise, shorty, here it is.
Surprise, surprise.
That's what it's going to be like. But that is our episode. We'll dive in with more ACOTAR next week and whatever's been happening in the news. And I'm sure I'll have some birthday stories. All right. Bye, everyone.